The Council of Celestial Intellects had ruled the known galaxies for eons. Civilizations rose and fell under their watchful gaze. They were called gods not by vanity but by the sheer scale of their control. Black holes bent to their will. Time folded in their hands. No species dared challenge them, until the swarm arrived. The swarm was not born of this universe. Consumed stars like embers. Planets vanished in hours. Thought itself disintegrated in its presence. No psionics, no quantum shielding, no temporal warping could resist its hunger. Within 3 standard cycles, 12 empires fell. 1,000,000 souls lost every second. The gods were helpless. On the edge of extinction, the council did the unthinkable. They turned their eyes toward the Terran graveyard, the sealed system in Sector 0. The place none of them dared speak of. A system that had been locked away for 10,000 years. A species buried with it. Humans. They had terrified the gods once. Not with technology, but with something deeper, older, a madness in their will, a cruelty in their mercy. The gods had tried to integrate them into the celestial accord. Humanity refused. They had offered peace. Humanity laughed. They had tried war. It came. Inside Earth's War AI network, dormant minds booted. Project Dreadnoughts rose from lava chambers. Orbital cannons, long buried under Mars rust, aimed skyward. But it wasn't machines the gods feared. It was the humans themselves. From cryopods, they emerged. Pale, silent, eyes burning with cold fire. These were not diplomats or explorers. These were not philosophers or thinkers. They barely survived. So the gods had quarantined Earth, entombed it behind quantum event walls, deleted it from star maps, and forbidden its name. Now the gods stood before that same sealed gate. Initiate temporal override, spoke Archon Ralthrix, voice trembling. Open the lock. Do you understand what you're doing? Asked Vorn, a crystalline archivist. We might not survive them either. Better the devil we know than the void that devours all. The lock cracked. Reality screamed. From the breach, something stirred. Far below, in what was once called the solar system, Earth reawakened. Clouds of steel shifted. Forgotten satellites blinked. Old bunkers, cities, and war factories powered up in silent coordination. In a facility buried under Antarctica, a voice whispered. Designation, Humanity Protocol Alpha. Reason for activation, Celestial Request. Response, calculating. From orbit, a single message was transmitted across the stars. Who dares wake us? The gods, once rulers of billions, flinched. They remembered the old wars, when human fleets lit entire galaxies on fire, not to win, but to send a message. When a single Terran diplomat once entered the core world of a warlike species and convinced them to surrender with only a smile and a child's storybook full of extinct predators. The swarm, meanwhile, sensed the breach. It turned. These were what the gods left behind, the soldiers, the killers, the survivors. Among them walked Commander Ilya Wren. She had last opened her eyes during the siege of Vega Prime when humanity nuked a star system to spite an enemy blockade. Now she simply asked, "Where's the fight?" Ralthrix fell to one knee as the Human War Council materialized before the celestial core chamber. "We summoned you because we're dying." Wren stepped forward. "You sealed us away. You erased our name." "Yes," Vorn admitted. "Because you were monstrous." Wren smiled faintly. "And now you want monsters to fight monsters." "Please," whispered Ralthrix. "The swarm devours reality itself. We cannot stop it." Ilya looked up at the galaxy-wide data feed. Dozens of empires gone. Billions dead. A hollowing silence spreading star to star. "All right," she said. "We'll handle it." "Button." Her voice turned to steel. "Get out of our way." From hidden caches, human battle fleets emerged like predators out of hibernation. Not elegant. Not beautiful. Just lethal. Each ship carried weapons the Council thought were illegal. One vessel, the Black Sun, folded space around it like a cloak. Another, Fury of Terra, was powered by a contained singularity chained with gravity hooks. Human commanders did not send messages of peace. They didn't warn. They hunted. The first encounter with the swarm happened near the dead system of Zelk. Celestial fleets had been annihilated there in seconds. The humans arrived. And smiled. The swarm poured forward, a tidal wave of entropy and screams. But the humans didn't retreat. They charged. Wren's command was simple. Burn everything. Dark matter mines ripped holes into subspace. Biophoton torpedoes shattered creatures the size of moons. And when the swarm adapted, humans adapted faster. They deployed chaos algorithms, living code designed to mutate faster than the enemy could comprehend. By the end of the first day, 12% of the swarm was gone. By the third day, the swarm was retreating. No one had ever seen it retreat. Back at the council, the gods watched. They had summoned destruction to stop annihilation. They watched in silence as humans did what no other could: fight without restraint, destroy without regret, and win without hesitation. Ralfric spoke what all were thinking. They don't fight like soldiers. They fight like predators. No, corrected Vorn softly. They fight like a species with nothing left to lose. On the seventh day, Ren transmitted a single line across all frequencies. Swarm neutralized. Losses acceptable. You're welcome. No demand for tribute. No speeches. No ceremony. The humans had not returned for glory or revenge. They had returned because they were needed. And now that the galaxy knew they still existed, one truth echoed louder than any divine song. Humanity hadn't changed. The gods had just forgotten.